because time after time, those with the power to do something about it brushed his behaviour under the rug. Those who were in the know were tapped on the shoulder and pressured to keep quiet, and where have we seen that kind of shit before? I keep hearing how Toon Kritic was supposedly a master manipulator who tricked everyone around him. Bullshit.
Before we start, I noticed a lot of you guys in the audience, including myself, are feeling a great deal of frustration at Toon Kritic's continued freedom. This is Harvey Weinstein. Back in October 5th, 2017, substantial allegations of sexual misconduct surfaced on the New York Times, as well in subsequent other publications. Today, his accusers roughly stand at 84. Links down below. This story broke literally 5 months ago, and he's still not in jail. I would encourage everyone not to lose hope that Zachary Keys, aka Toon Kritic, isn't locked up yet. On the other hand, to the best of my knowledge, he has not been charged yet. That's concerning. And no one has attempted to bring the man in even for questioning. You know what? Let's get back to something positive. Greetings, friends. And first and foremost, yes, I am aware of Lightning Bliss's statement. And yes, we're reading it. It's going to be a mouthful, so get comfy.
Hello, everyone. I come upon serious times at this moment. As some might know, a video was made on me discussing my use of pony assets and not being originally in my work. I've already gone ahead and made a public statement in my home chat community known as the Secret Rift. However, I feel it best I make one here as well. I'm here to address the topic from my side and list the facts as clear as possible. Around the year 2014, I downloaded what appeared to be free downloadable pony assets that I assumed were fan-made since I didn't see any indication of it being owned by Hasbro. And I saw an opportunity to have a founding base to start my own pony puppets, my own pony puppet maker. After years of remixing and remixing the assets repeatedly over and over again, I felt that I had finally turned the assets into my own style and began selling them to those who would commission me for them. I have been upfront in the past that I originally did download assets and remix them as my own. This I never denied, and far as others have told me, I've done no wrong. But moving forward, in light of this video, and with some help from Josh Scorcher and Minty Root, it has been brought to my attention that the assets I originally remixed were in fact leaked assets from the MLP show itself. This is both devastating and downright a shock to my morals and ethics. I have in fact been profiting from original assets of the show despite my heavy remixing. I know now I'm what you would call a victim of ignorance. This does not excuse the fact that I did do this, and it is wrong regardless. I've been struggling on how to face this mistake I've made, but realize there really is no other way of facing it than to go head on with as much transparency as possible. I might have not known better back then, but that's a snot excuse to keep doing this now. So, as of right now, all of my former remixed pony puppets that have risks of show-style assets have been officially deleted. I no longer have any remixed versions, let alone the original files that I used to have years ago. I am currently in the process of building everything I originally established from scratch that I will plan on using as future commissions. This may take me a few days if I focus on nothing but that. Despite this, years of practice with my former remixed puppets have given me the confidence to redo everything and build from the hooves up. I'm not proud of what has happened. Ignorance or not, I still did it. And those who have purchased puppets from me put trust in my ability, and I fed that. I have failed you all. Now that I have been open to the situation, I'm setting conditions out on fixing the wrongs I have done. For those of you who have purchased pony puppets from me or have pony assets within them and still wish for my services, I will happily redo your puppets / vectors free of charge if you feel the need to. I will say here and now though, I can no longer use your former commissioned puppets to make more vectors for you. This would be morally and ethically wrong for me. If you still wish for my services, a new puppet and vectors will be made using my original work for free. This is for my pony puppets only. I actually have done plenty of custom puppets in the past, including cat puppets, griffins, changelings, and reformed changelings that were never affected by the original assets. However, all the pony puppets I've made before are now compromised. My commission information will be receiving an update very soon, showcasing my newly created and original pony puppets, such as Bat Stallion, Stallion, and Mare, that I plan to sell fairly. I do too plan on making custom fillies and colts, and maybe even royal body type ponies in the future, but for now, I can only do one thing at a time. I would like to stretch my sincere apologies to everyone in our community, especially to those who purchased from me. I was ignorant and foolish, and now I have to right everything I did wrong. Forgiveness is a choice. I'm still working on trying to forgive myself for my stupidity. Once again, if those of you who have purchased pony puppets from me and wish for me to redo them or your vectors, please contact me on DA Notes. I'll do my best to work with you, no charge, for redoing everything commission-wise I built from scratch on pony puppets, and will continue with commissions once they are completed. My commission guide will be subject to change. For those of you who prefer to keep what I made for you, that's okay too, as long as you don't sell your vectors or puppets. But if you use them for your YouTube channel or freelance artwork, I believe you will be okay. But again, if you want me to redo them, feel free to message me. Saying I'm sorry doesn't sound good enough to me. Actions prove my apologies to be sincere. What I do from here on out, I hope will earn all your trust back in the future, and hopefully continue to bring rainbows to our community. Thank you, and again, I'm sorry.
Whew, man, that was a lot. My personal thoughts. Within a mere 24 hours of having this issue brought to light, give or take an hour, I wasn't there with a stopwatch, after the issue was brought to light publicly, in a concise and straightforward manner, this has been pretty damn good. Now, again, my area of concern was simply the satisfaction of the customer, i.e., did you, the customer, get your money's worth? It appears to be that Bliss, for the foreseeable future, will be addressing this topic. It's going to be a very time-consuming process. So once again, I'm entirely satisfied. If you are not, and have additional issues, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. Comments down below. There is one other gentleman, Yuyuki Inubashi, who not only showed up in Vita's video's comments, but my own, reporting this video for bullying. Well, Vita's as well as mine. There is nothing in How Not to Brony 67, I feel, more than comfortable in saying that Vita's video, the Pony Files Lightning Bliss, would constitute harassment. Again, feel free to tell me where and when that happens. There is a bunch of people who are calling this video slander. I don't condone that Vita threw a fit and posted Josh Scorcher's assets, his old ones. These were made by Zane Russell, to the best of my understanding. This is Zane Russell's DeviantArt. This is also his public name on display here. Pete's people have a habit of changing this and claiming doxing later on, so I'm providing screen proof here. As of this moment, it says Zane Russell. Now we've gotten to the part where we cover Zane Russell, the main event of the evening. I'd like to partially apologize to Mr. Russell. I stated on DeviantArt that if you hire Zane at no extra charge, all your private discussions with him would be flooded over to a delusional psychotic at no extra charge. That would be Lily Pete. Lily has gone by other names in the past. We're going to go with Lily today. Pete has a bug up her ass about Josh Scorcher because Pete was cut off as a friend months ago. Regardless of if you believe anything else from me, that is a fact. My apology to Zane comes from the fact that I would have more than a fair amount of hypocrisy for bitching at Zane for having a big mouth. That's right, FNGR has the gall to bitch about someone else for not being able to keep a secret. If you know this channel or me personally, that's a pretty big haha. That said, when you talk to a guy with a drama channel, you might want to assume that you take on some responsibility, that I would have a big mouth. Whereas Zane chat log dumped oodles and oodles of logs to Lily, which have made their way to Tumblr by now. I'm going to read off one of Zane's fan questions about a recent matter, and then Zane's response. I don't know if this will work. Maybe you can flag the video or something. Maybe just sue him. I know it'll probably won't work, but just something to try. And best of luck for everything. And I hope he learned the hard way. That was the fan question. I lack the resources to pursue legal action, but if he insists on calling me a bully just for requesting not to be associated with him anymore, then I will at least inconvenience him with a few claims here and there. That is Zane's response to the fan. I can literally go, yay Josh Scorcher, Zane, you're a big meanie, and my views would go up, the upvote bar would skyrocket. Truth is, Josh Scorcher is very difficult to deal with. He's stubborn. He's a pain in the ass. I empathize. We've kept in touch for this whole Toon Kritic fiasco. Likely by the time that this video is published, I will have broken ties. If there will be a link in the description to my Minds account to prove that I am the one who broke those ties because I am in fact a petty fuck. I am assuming that Zane Russell does not wish to have his artwork associated with a channel that continued to host the gaming sessions with Toon Kritic. Now, why I am satisfied with Josh as far as the Toon Kritic matter goes, I also understand my endorsement does not speak for you, or any of the victims who feel slighted by Josh's actions. Your frustrations are a long way from being unreasonable. You see conduct and behavior that do not reflect your core principles, and a topic that should have a straightforward solution, but there is no legal action for you to pursue even if you did have money. Zane, this is empty-brooke. Brooke is a long way from agreeing with me on every goddamn thing I do. I think Brooke has been amused and unamused at times. Maybe, maybe not. But Brooke has never asked me to stop using the artwork from her that I've paid for, despite being at odds with her friends. So anyone in the audience who wants a reliable, talented artist who will draw you, link below to empty-brooke's DA. Oh, and as well as the person who did the thumbnail, androgynous garbage. Kenny, love ya. Zane, your credibility is in fact not a boomerang, no matter how right you might potentially be. And keep in mind, I did say potentially, Josh paid for your artwork. You did accept payment. What's more, I've asked Josh if you offered to refund him to stop using his artwork. And feel free to clarify this down below. You have not, Zane. You have pocketed Josh Scorcher's money. Now, I'm not interested if later on that you donate your money to some charity, a la Mad Munchkin style. I could care less. I'm here to protect the customer just as I did in the Lightning Bliss situation. Hashtag respect the customer.
He once complained about the fact that I wouldn't let him compare Spike living with Twilight to self-hating black slaves in the South, despite the fact that this was literally my job that he was paying me to do.
I have always agreed with and will always agree that Pete's decision to refuse to do something that she did not wish to do was ethically sound, at which point if the customer who has paid for that service is not refunded, I would encourage said customer, if viable, to charge back the money on PayPal. Pete had the right to say no, and Josh had the right to fire Pete. Now Russell, this is a bit different. The work has been done well before the Toon Kritic drama, and that leaves you in a very uneasy, morally delicate, and presumably unacceptable situation. It does in fact suck to be you. And you do have resources. You can bitch about Josh Scorcher publicly. Twitter, Tumblr, Minds, or any other preferable forum or social media to your heart's content. This is perfectly okay. Remember when you bitched about Josh Scorcher not correcting me in the description of one of Pete's videos? Josh said at one point that he was going to fire you, except he kept you on a little bit longer. He lumped your bullshit, and you kept acting like a whiny ass in his chat. That last part, I didn't get that from Josh. He sure as hell didn't want me to know. I got that from his staff. You still kinda are a bit of an insufferable dumbass, with all due respect. And this isn't just me talking here. You said yourself that you have zero intent in escalating the claims versus Josh, and you are literally intending to flag him to make his life hard. This is some Vita pony bullshit right here. You are throwing your dinner on the floor because you didn't get your way. And again, like Vita, you did get a shit deal with Josh. But flagging or leaking someone's assets isn't the route to go. But I will be addressing Josh at this point. My personal experiences with Josh Scorcher. Just to give you an example, Zane, this is by one of which of the reasonable ways to address a situation that is legally fair. When I tried to bring up the Bliss situation with Josh and play the middle ground with him, his big defense was, well, technically all fan art is illegal, and cited that Vita is a source of irritation for him and his friends. To which I reminded Josh, when I was having problems with Vita, giving my girlfriend the business, Josh was happy to accidentally unfriend me that day. And he came back when he needed something. I'm getting a sense of deja vu. I'm reminded of a message somewhere.
There's something you need to remember about most content creators in the analysis community. They have extreme apathy to anything that doesn't affect them personally. Anything that does affect them, regardless of how trivial, is something they need to campaign against. But the minute it doesn't, it's drama and not worth paying attention to.
If you're in the audience and you're a Josh fan, I know what you're thinking. Do you have something besides just you, Vita, and Zane? I do. This is Little Raptor, and I'm going to read off here. Josh Scorcher can be an annoying one. I tried helping him when he had a 4chan group raid him for a month. In his TF2 stream last year, what did I get for giving him my personal server to use and info on how to book his own for free? Nada. He just ditched me. I've brought this up to Josh, and his big excuse was, well, that was a bust out on his part. Now again, you might know myself, FNGR, Vita, Zane, we're not exactly squeaky clean people. FNGR, do you have something better? Do you have something about someone where Josh was kind of a selfish dick to someone who could have used their help? I do. This is Finn. For those of you who think Vita, myself, and Little Raptor aren't worth Josh's time, 10 of my friends, had to sit down with Finn to encourage him from being involved with something grievously against his own best interest. Josh expressed an interest in pursuing this endeavor and echoed many of my sentiments that Finn is a little too nice for his own good. And then Josh did what he always does. Absolutely motherfucking nothing. Not a goddamn thing. Now I understand Finn is a grown man. Also, Finn, I know you went back. I hope you know what you're doing, because I sure as hell don't. And also, I'm not surprised. Every time I've dealt with Josh Scorcher, and getting him to make the right move has been kicking and screaming, especially his wonderful line, "I'm prepared to be proven wrong." He brought this up when we were discussing the Vita video, and when I tried to assert he was wrong, you said that you didn't want any part in this. After clearly stating that you were prepared to be proven wrong, you said that you had a lot on your plate. You said that you were physically and emotionally done right after I attempted to prove you wrong. For verification on this, I will include a link to Vita's Tumblr, who will no doubt will be hosting that discussion by now. Zane, by all means, take a sledgehammer to Josh Scorcher's reputation. What I'm asking you not to do is willingly pursue actions you know for a fact aren't on the level, and then smile about it in some statement about false flagging. Especially to someone who paid for what they were due. Ultimately, I made peace with Josh due to my connections with several people in the community. I've tried to hold to that. However, those number of people in the community who I felt that I needed to get along with Josh to make happy, those numbers have dwindled. I will not be dropping any names on why. I think you can use your imagination. If you think this is a matter of jealousy or FNGR is throwing a baby fit, Keep in mind on how I've handled the Lightening Bliss situation. If it's a matter of preference, my father is a veteran. I have a lot more likely to find a way to forgive Josh if it were about interests, but I've grown tired of this one-sided affair. Zane, I don't blame you for blocking me, and I might have backed the wrong horse. But if you haven't taken up the false flagging crusade, I wouldn't start, and that's the long and the short of it. Josh Scorcher, you told me to be careful with Vita. Well, you know what they say. The devil you know is better of the devil you don't. Thank you. Fuck you. Bye.